Diddy's bail has just been denied for a third time after the judge said Diddy was a threat to witnesses and society, and his attorney Mark Agnifilo is going nuts. The latest ruling by Judge Aaron Subramanian just exposed how dangerous Diddy is and how Diddy was using threats to pressure witnesses.
It was released right on Thanksgiving Eve, right at the end of the day on Wednesday. It reads, the court has evaluated each of the factors that it must consider under the relevant law. 1, nature and circumstances of the offense charged. 2, weight of the evidence against the person. 3, history and characteristics of the person. And 4, nature and seriousness of the danger that would be posed by the person's release. And it also says that the court has also reviewed the information submitted by Combs and the government across all 3 bail hearings in this case. As you remember, Sean Combs was denied bail both by a magistrate judge and a district court judge. Judge Subramanian writes, the court finds that the government has shown by clear and convincing evidence, so that's the standard, that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. In support of this finding, the court provides the following reasons.
Diddy has long been exposed to be involved in witness tampering, so it's no shock that Diddy's bail was denied, even though Diddy was offering $50 million. The details of Diddy's bond package are shocking, as Diddy had already given up his passport. But for someone like Diddy, multiple secret passports are a possibility, and there was no way that the court would ever let such a high-profile abuser leave, especially when Diddy has already been caught trying to contact witnesses.
We're going to put together the proposed bail package. A $50 million bond, co-signed by him, his mom, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. It's going to be secured by the equity in his property in Miami, Florida. Home detention, his passport will be surrendered. The government said that's insufficient. They said, look at the charges, look at the weight of the evidence that I just mentioned. They said they have allegations that he and his associates were trying to tamper with witness testimony last year so that they wouldn't cooperate with the government. What do you take away about who has the stronger argument in terms of bail?
Well, I think his counsel has done the best they possibly can. I think bringing him there voluntarily is very smart, starts them out on the right foot. But I think the last thing that you just mentioned, the interfering with witnesses.
That's the allegation, yeah.
Yeah, if that's true, or I should say, if there's real indicia that happened, I think that might tip the scales in favor of not letting him out pending trial, because I think, and you know this, I think judges take an extraordinarily dim view of that, and that might be the factor that tips the scale against him. But I think as far as attack,
Diddy's attorney is doing everything he can to make it look like Diddy is a good person, but the judges know better. This was Diddy's 3rd time getting his bail denied. And interestingly, there was a good chance that Diddy could have gotten bail this time. But over the weekend, just before the judge could grant him bail, Diddy was once again caught trying to contact witnesses, this time using the prison's own phone system. Allegedly, Diddy was using the phone privileges of other inmates too, and that's how he got caught.
Can you come say a few words to the microphone? Who's going to be watching Jesse and Delilah?
I think that we made the points that we've been wanting to make. I think it came out. Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. We believe in him wholeheartedly. He didn't do these things. This was a 10-year relationship. There's no coercion. There's no crime. There's basically just, someone who brought a civil case and now is finding themselves as a witness in a criminal case. And we're going to fight this case with everything we have, as is he. And eventually he's going to be shown to be innocent. And so tomorrow we fight again. And we'll fight every day until we don't have to fight anymore. I don't get into that stuff.
Even during earlier bail hearings with different judges, Diddy consistently displayed the same predatory behavior that we saw today. There is no way that the judge is going to let Diddy walk out before his trial in May of 2025. So now Diddy is going to spend the next few months in prison. There is a high chance that his attorneys will try to file for bail again, but without new evidence, they're going to have a hard time convincing any judge to grant them bail.
We made a bail appeal to Judge Carter. It did not go our way. The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. I'm going to try and minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and I believe inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Detention Facility. And I'm going to do everything that I can to move his case as quickly as possible. I understand that the government has a great amount of electronic devices that they have to download and provide to me, but everything's on the government's timetable, nothing's on the defendant's timetable, and they're going to have to accommodate me and him and give us a quick trial, and I'm going to be pushing for that. He's ready, he's focused. He has been ready to defend this case since he first found out about this case. Nothing has changed from his perspective. I obviously would much prefer to fight this case with him out of jail, and we are going to try to bring that about through additional legal process. But wherever he is, his resolve is the same. He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
Diddy's attorney has allegedly interviewed more than 49 witnesses that will be called to the stand against Diddy. And in his own words, the prosecutors don't have any tapes. This is actually a complete lie, because we've already seen the tapes showing Kevin Hart and Diddy, along with Usher, standing next to a hooker at a Diddy party. If it's really this easy for Diddy's lawyers to get caught lying, Diddy's never getting bail.
You believe it's one victim and 49 witnesses who saw this behavior. That's pretty powerful, though, to have that many people who have, if they go to court and argue that they witnessed this behavior by your client.
Well, no.
What's your defense against that kind of case?
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs and this person's, intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed a large number of them. There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual. Nobody was too drunk. Nobody was too high. These were adults in a relationship. This is a 10-year relationship. We can't forget that. This is a 10-year relationship, and it was adults and consensual, and everybody who was there wanted to be there. So I feel very confident in our position.
You said you interviewed the men, but what about the women?
I haven't interviewed the woman. The woman's not available to me. She's presumably a grand jury witness, and we would not. We cannot try to interview a grand jury witness.
You talked about. You said you're portraying this as adults who were at these events that wanted to be. I shouldn't even call them events. That's not certainly how anyone else would label it, but that they wanted to be there. But they also allege that they were recorded and essentially used as blackmail. Is that not true?
That's not true. That's not true.
How can you prove that when they have electronic evidence that, as they argue, over 90 cell phones, laptops, iCloud storage accounts, 30 electronic and storage devices, hard drives, thumb drives? Yeah. You're not worried about that?
No, because if they had it, they would have put it in the indictment.
Interestingly, the people around Diddy, including 50 Cent and Gene Deal, both believe that Diddy is going to get bail soon. 50 Cent actually posted on his Instagram that Diddy was going to be released soon, and Gene Deal also said that Diddy might just shock the world at the next bail hearing. Diddy has already given up everything he could to be eligible for bail, but according to the most recent ruling, there is nothing that Diddy can do that would convince the judges it is safe to release him.
He might get bail. Now you're wondering why I'm saying that. See, they are trying to use some of the things that happen to criminals all the time, or inmates all the time. They always, brother, they always do those impromptu searches. And in one of the cases, in this particular case, they said that when they did the impromptu search, well, they took some of his legal information, and the judge ordered them to give that back. So I guess the lawyers are going to come up with a couple of new things saying that he can't properly, have his case be properly, what do you call it when they client get they client and lawyer privileges. He can't properly do his case with, you understand, with them constantly going into jail cells, searching him, taking his legal briefs, taking his information, and then probably using it against him. But I don't believe none of that to be true. I believe that they went in there just like they do all the other inmates based on the information they had. You got to realize this, bro. They found out that Diddy was using other inmates' phone cards. Now that probably happens all the time. You understand? And he gotta be probably the smartest, dumbest person that I know, because he gotta know that those phone calls are being taped. So whatever his lawyers and them come up with, the prosecution's gonna come up with something else. So the judge is gonna wanna know, well, what did they do, when they found out he was in violation of some of this stuff that he was doing? Did they charge him with something new? Did they take some of his privileges away? What has happened in the interim of him doing this stuff that they alleged that he done? So it's gonna be a whole forestry of next week, because what they did was they held off whatever the procedures was gonna go down today. The judge say he gonna revisit this next week. So I guess, I don't know if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll find out what's going on, but it's gonna be something that I think it may shock the world.
Gene Deal has talked extensively about Diddy's bail and even predicted what was going to happen this time. He said that he has contacts in the court that told him the judge had found out about his attempt at witness tampering, and the more Diddy tried to get free, the harder it would actually be for him to get bail. This means that Diddy should just accept his fate and start preparing for trial. It is important to note that Diddy is allegedly involved in arson and blackmailing when it comes to trying to pressure and silence victims.
Even when the feds caught them, they caught drugs on his person and drugs in his room, right? So now he goes in front of the first judge. The judge is like, yo, your lawyers can't handle you. You had plenty enough time to clean yourself up and start doing the right thing. So I can't give you bail. You sitting up here, you done made 100 and something calls to this one girl that could be a potential witness. They said that you done blew up somebody's car. What I look like giving you a bail? So now what people don't understand, why would they lawyer go to another judge? Which is crazy to me. They think another judge is gonna give them bail because they said, I'm gonna give you 50 million, 100 million, all like that. No, they not gonna fight against each other when none of your circumstances had changed the first time. Your first bail, you show that you ain't do nothing, and you still had the ability to be threatening to witnesses. You still drugged out of your mind. And I think they said they may have found pink cocaine. I told you cocaine is a hell of a drug, bro. It done brought a lot of people down. A lot of people down. And I don't give a F, but I feel sorry for somebody I know that didn't use drugs. And now he losing his whole empire. And it's got to do with who he is as a person. But them drugs sure changed him and effed him up. Because he thought that those people was going to give him bail because he was rich. Nah, a lot of rich people still go to jail. Not like we do, but they still go to jail.
The calls that Diddy made using the phone privileges of other inmates are all recorded, and it's honestly shocking how Diddy could make a mistake like this. This can only mean that Diddy is worried, and he's starting to mess up now. Why else would Diddy try to do something like this? Especially the day before the decision of the bail hearing.
Why is he trying to get in contact with witnesses? He gotta know they recorded the calls, right?
My man, in order to you to think that you could get away with doing any kind of witness tampering in prison, you gotta probably be one of the smartest, dumbest person, because they tape everything, bruh. Don't you know when he was using those other people's cards and they phone cards and everything like that, and they hear it, that person was like that. Hold up. That's supposed to be inmate 076. And Puff inmate number is 0666. Why is 0666 coming over on 0607? Why is Puff stuff coming over on his card? Hold up. Did he just say, take that, take that? Do I hear, bad boy, come out and play? They know his voice. And now for him to be giving people instructions to do things, like I say, he got to be one of the smartest dumb MFs we know. So if they got him on there telling people to get in touch with people or tell people to stop, the guards are being closely monitored. Because it was said that he was on a cell phone. And I don't think you could have a cell phone in the Brooklyn House of Detention, the Brooklyn or the Manhattan House of Detention. I don't think you could have a cell phone. And I heard that he had a cell phone. He made some calls to some people. So they're gonna watch the guards closely, because if you remember with the Epstein case, and check this out, those two guards that were supposed to be brought up on charges because they falsified records, you ain't heard nothing else about them.
Gene Deal has allegedly also received calls and threats to stop talking about Diddy, and Diddy has told him that enough is enough. There are reports that a cease and desist could be issued against Gene Deal for what he's exposing about Diddy. Jaguar Wright already received a cease and desist from Jay-Z, and the only reason that Diddy hasn't started doing the same is because he wants to look like he's harmless.
And you right about Diddy's phone being tapped, because news came out that his former bandmate from Dirty Money, she called the other group member Dunn 58 times trying to get her to stop the lawsuit against Diddy.
She ain't the only one he was trying to get in contact with. You understand? He sent somebody through somebody else to try to get in contact with me, telling me enough is enough. Oh, okay. You tell Big Mama that enough is enough. You can't tell Wolf Mama enough is enough. You tell D Ferg Mama enough is enough. You understand? You tell all those people who supported you and they survivors, enough is enough.
You didn't tell me about that. So he tried to get somebody to reach out to you?
No, I got a phone call from Kirk Burrows. And Kirk Burrows, and I ain't gonna even get this guy no play. Not Kirk Burrows, but one of the Puff dudes that I know that's real close to him said, Kirk told me, yo, he want to reach out to you, Gene. He want to speak to you. I said, speak to me for what? What do you want to speak to me for? If he's trying to speak to me, it's for Puff. Point blank. I know the dude. I know how close he is to Puff. He's been with Puff from day one. So he ain't got nothing to say to me, bro. But Kirk Burrows did say to me that the dude said enough is enough.
Diddy's attorney is getting caught in a lie after a lie. Just a few days after Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, told CNN that there was absolutely no footage against Diddy, Courtney Burgess, a friend of Diddy's ex-wife, actually went and testified that he had not one but 8 different freak-off tapes. These tapes were then handed over to the FBI. And interestingly, these are only a few of the tapes that are available on the dark web right now.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
Civil lawsuits have also been filed against Diddy, and this time, the lawyer pursuing these charges has come out and said that he will expose everyone that is connected to Diddy. With the high-ranking politicians that could get exposed as a result of these trials, there's a good chance Diddy will try everything he can to either silence the victims or try to settle out of court. He did the same thing with Cassie and a recent $100 million lawsuit.
There are many people and many entities involved. And we're going to follow this evidence wherever it takes us. We will find the silent accomplices. We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates. These brave victims who have stepped forward deserve nothing less. We now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file. We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names. And you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case. Because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And, when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
The details of the crimes that Diddy committed are shocking and would honestly horrify any jury that hears them. The grand jury witness against Diddy is also someone who was abused by Diddy, so there's a good chance that if this case goes to trial, Diddy will not be getting out. The allegations include serious claims such as rape, sexual assault facilitated by drugs, including a tranquilizer, and the unauthorized distribution of recordings. According to attorney Busby, highlighted that among the alleged victims, 25 were minors at the time of the incidents, with some as young as 9 years old.
Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged, and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence, was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport, was given one drink in the SUV, and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again, allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her vagina and her anus were torn and sore.
Diddy already has a history of trying to silence the people that could speak up against him, whether it was through physical abuse, blackmail, or bribes. Now all of Diddy's crimes are catching up to him and the people that helped him. The criminals involved with Diddy are some of the most powerful people in the country, including politicians, CEOs, and music producers. If Diddy goes down, everyone goes down with him.
The friends he have, and nobody came out.
They brand. It's all about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America liked that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's some about the music, clothing, movies. They're not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched, and Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he haven't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man then led them probably, allegedly probably led them to damnation, because those people's hearts are gonna be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man. And he has a history. It's not looking too good for him.
So you feel like celebs are worried that they might be on tape?
Oh, they know. That's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party, but I know I ain't do nothing. When you don't know somebody's taping you, when you don't know that somebody is videoing you in some kind of form of fashion, you got that alcohol, you got the drugs in you, they're a little loose, bruh. They let down all their inhibitions. The music is pumping. He said it himself. He got it so hot in there that you gotta take your clothes off. He said that himself, bruh.
From alleged witness tampering to shocking recordings, it's clear this case is far from over. Do you think Diddy will ever manage to secure bail? Or is this just the beginning of the end for him? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.